Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Unbreakable-You. I am your healing and empowerment coach, Olga Binyaminov, and I want to welcome you back to this monthly series. In May, I want to talk about awakening, healing, and rising again. This month, last week, we talked about energy, and I'm so grateful that so many of you reached out after and messaged me how important energy is, the energy we carry, the energy we protect, and how to protect that energy and the energy we bring into our lives and our relationships. Today, I want to go a step deeper in that, and I want to talk about the healing of that woman within. I want to start by saying something that so many women desperately need to hear. Just because you've been strong for someone else and for everyone else doesn't mean that you haven't been hurting. So many women are carrying silent pain. Pain from rejection, betrayal, abandonment. Pain from childhood wounds. Pain from relationships that broke them. Pain from constantly giving and giving until there was nothing left for themselves. And yet, somehow, these incredible, strong women still wake up every morning and continue functioning. They continue working. They continue to be incredible parents. They still help others, still smiling and showing up. But deep inside, these are tired women that are asking themselves every single day, when is it finally my turn to heal? So today, I want to focus on that woman. Today, it's not about pretending to be okay, which all of us have been doing. Today, it's not about perfection, and it's not about looking strong. It's about honesty. It's about healing, and it's about coming home to yourself again. I want you to allow yourself to be fully present, not thinking about your to-do list right now, not thinking about worrying about tomorrow. I don't want you to replay old conversation in your mind. Just be here. Because healing begins the moment you stop running from yourself. One of the biggest misconceptions about healing is that people think healing means forgetting. People think that healing means pretending something didn't hurt, or maybe even becoming emotionless. But true healing is really not about being cold. It's about becoming a whole. Healing means you no longer allow your wounds to control your identity. For many women, pain becomes an identity. They begin saying, I'm not lovable. I am too broken. I always get hurt. I never trust again. And I am not enough. And after repeating these thoughts long enough, they stop becoming who they were. And they start becoming those beliefs. So I want to challenge those beliefs today. Because the truth is, what happened to you is not the same thing as who you are. Listen to this again. What happened to you is not the same thing as who you are. What happened to you is not who you are. You may have experienced betrayal, but you are not betrayal. You may have experienced rejections, but you are not rejection. And you may have experienced a heartbreak, but you are not broken beyond repair. You are still worthy, still capable, still valuable, still able to heal, still capable of joy, and still able and deserve love. Sometimes women lose themselves slowly, and that doesn't happen overnight. It happens little by little. A little piece disappears every time they tolerate disrespect. Every time they stay silent to avoid a conflict. That little piece disappears every time they put themselves last, and every time they abandon their own need, trying to just keep everyone else happy. And eventually, they wake up one day and they ask, what happened to me? Maybe some of you listening to this and feel this way. Maybe somewhere along the journey of motherhood, relationship, survival, stress, work, responsibilities, you forgot yourself. You forgot what you made, and you forgot what made you feel alive. You forgot that peace feels different. You forgot your worth. You forgot your voice. But I want you to understand something very important. You are not lost forever. The woman you were before the pain still exists inside of you. She may be buried beneath that fear, exhaustion, underneath that trauma, and underneath all that disappointment. But she's still here. And healing is not becoming someone new. Healing is turning back to yourself, returning to who you were. One of the hardest parts of healing is learning to stop blaming yourself for things that were never your fault. And women carry guilt for everyone. They blame themselves for failed relationships, for not being enough. They blame themselves even for trusting the wrong people and for staying for too long. Some women even blame themselves for leaving too soon, hoping that if they stayed long enough, things would have been better. Some women blame themselves for mistakes they made while trying to survive emotionally. But healing requires self-compassion. And self-compassion means speaking to yourself with kindness instead of punishment. Imagine speaking to yourself the way you would speak to someone that you love deeply. Would you constantly insult them? Would you tell them they are worthless? Or would you remind them of every mistake every day? Probably not. So why do you do that to yourself? The relationship you've been with yourself set the tone for every relationship in your life. If you constantly criticize yourself, you will accept criticism from others. If you believe that you are unworthy, you will tolerate being treated as unworthy or treated poorly. If you abandon yourself, you will attract relationships where you continue to abandoning yourself. Healing starts when you decide, I will no longer be at the war with myself. And I know healing is uncomfortable because healing forces you to feel emotions you actually tried to avoid. Sometimes people distract themselves with work, social media, changing relationships, being busy, and having constant noise because silence forces them to confront what they really feel. But avoidance does not heal wounds. It only delays them. What you refuse to heal today will continue appearing in your life tomorrow. And sometimes healing feels lonely because not everyone will understand your transformation. Some people benefit from the version of you that had no boundaries. Some people like the version of you that stayed quiet. The version that tolerated disrespect and tolerated or sacrificed herself endlessly. But healing changes you. Healing teaches you to say no. Healing teaches you to choose peace, to walk away from chaos. Healing also teaches you to protect your energy and to stop begging for love. Healing teaches you to stop shrinking yourself for others. And yes, some people may become uncomfortable when you grow, but growth is necessary. I want to pause for a second and ask you something. When was the last time you truly checked in with yourself emotionally? Not your responsibilities, not your schedule, not your obligation, you. How are you really doing? Many women are just functioning, but not healing. And there's a big difference. Functioning meaning surviving. Healing means transforming. Today I want you to give yourself permission to heal without guilt. I want you to give yourself permission to rest. Give yourself permission to cry. Give yourself permission to rebuild. And give yourself permission to begin again. You do not need permission from people who hurt you to heal. You don't need closure from everyone to move forward. Sometimes closure becomes from deciding. Simple decision. I deserve peace more than I need the answers. And that itself is very powerful. Healing also requires forgiveness. And I know forgiveness is difficult. And if you've been watching my 5-part series on forgiveness, I took my time to forgive everyone in my life to heal. But forgiveness does not say what happened was okay. Forgiveness says I refuse to carry this pain forever. Because anger and resentment become heavy. They become heavy emotionally, mentally, and yes, even physically. And eventually, the anger and the resentment begin stealing your peace. So forgiveness is freedom. And it's not always from the other person. And it's not always for the other person. It's for you. Don't wait for apology. Just forgive. Release this. And I want us all to work on this, because that's the most important component of healing. Now I want us to do something together. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And I want you to imagine the younger version of yourself standing right in front of you. Maybe she was hurt. Maybe she felt unseen. Maybe she felt abandoned. Maybe she just learned to be strong too early. Look at her with compassion and silently say, you are worthy. You are loved. You did not deserve the pain that you experienced. You are safe now. I will protect you now. I will stop abandoning you now. And when you're done saying that, take a deep breath and slowly open your eyes. Healing the woman within means becoming the safe place you always needed. It means no longer searching for your worth in other people. It means understanding that your value does not decrease because someone failed to appreciate you. You are still valuable. And today I want every woman who listens to remember this. You can begin again at any age, even after heartbreak, after any disappointment, after any failure, and after every and any season of pain. Your story is not over. There's still so much joy ahead of you. There's still so much peace ahead of you. Still purpose ahead of you. There's still healing ahead of you. You are not too damaged. You are not too late, and you are not too broken. You are rebuilding, and rebuilding is beautiful. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for allowing yourself to be present. And thank you for choosing healing. And before I end this, I want to leave you with this. The most important relationship you will ever have is the relationship you build with yourself. So protect it, nurture it, and heal it. Because when a woman is healed, everyone around her begins to change. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again next week for the continuation of May's series.